So we saw how chi-square test can be used for uh, Poisson distribution. We'll take up one more example and see how this chi-square test can be used for exponential distribution. Uh, Exponential distribution. When the chi-square test has to be applied on continuous distribution, we need to follow a different procedure. Previously, whatever the example we considered, it was for discrete distribution. It is nothing but discrete type of data. It is explained below with the help of exponential distribution. In case of continuous distribution, class intervals to be formed in such a way that the probabilities of all the class intervals must be equal. So in case of continuous distribution, actually we won't have class intervals. So this has to be formed in such a way that the probabilities of all the class intervals must be equal. And this can be done by taking the probability hypothesis value as equals to 1 by k, where k is the number of class intervals and pi is what? The probability of each class interval. It is known that the expected frequency is always calculated by using ei equals to n into pi, and this should be always greater than or equal to 5. If it is less than or equal to 5, what we used to do? We used to combine the adjacent values, which is equal to, fine, n into pi can be substituted with 1 by k, where k is what? The number of class intervals, which should be greater than or equal to 5. And k, if I want to calculate the value of k is what? Less than or equal to n divided by 5 is a width of class interval, and that should be what? Less than or equal to 5. In case of discrete distribution, the class interval were of what? Equal width. This is how we are going to calculate what? The value of k. K is less than or equal to n divided by 5. Now, since we are considering the exponential distribution in this problem, we know that the PDF of exponential distribution is given by f of x equals to lambda e to the power of minus lambda into x. Now, when we consider the parameter estimation of a exponential distribution, so we have only one parameter, that is lambda. Fine. The estimated parameter for the exponential distribution for this lambda is what? Always 1 divided by x bar, which is nothing but this is the value of mean. And the CDF is always calculated as what? F of x equals to 1 minus e to the power of minus lambda into x. So this is the cumulative distribution function. This is the probability density function. Now we need to calculate the endpoints for the class intervals, because whatever the data we have to once again group into classes. So we need to calculate the endpoint. I think when we solve some problems during test for randomness, we always used to consider 0.0 within the range, then once again followed by that is 1. It is nothing but exclude 0 but include 1. So this range we need to calculate. So this type we need to find the endpoints. The endpoints of each class interval should be computed, and this can be computed. Now endpoints here, x value can be replaced with any endpoint value, that is ai, which is equal to 1 minus e to the power of minus lambda into ai. Fine. Where ai is the endpoint of what? The ith interval for a particular class of intervals. Since f of ai, okay, is a cumulative area from 0 to ai, f of ai equals to I into p. Fine. It is nothing but I stands from 0 to n. So I into p. Fine. So f of ai equals to I into p because it is a cumulative area. Fine. It is nothing but we go on adding with the previous value. Thus, I into p equals to f of is given as what? 1 minus e to the power of minus lambda. Here x value is nothing but ai. So I into p equals to 1 minus e to the power of minus lambda into ai, where I value ranges from I 0, 1, 2, 3 up to which one now? K, where k represents the ith interval. So e to the power of minus lambda ai equals to, this is 1 minus I into p. Fine. So minus lambda ai equals to log e of what? 1 minus I into p. So ai is calculated as what now? Minus 1 by lambda, okay, log of 1 minus I into p. Fine. So this is how, by using this formula, we are going to calculate what? The endpoints for each of the class interval. Thus, with the help of computed computed value like k and ai, we will formulate the class intervals. Then the given data are distributed into these intervals for applying chi-square test. So this is the formula we will be using to calculate what? The class interval. Now let's take up with one more problem. The time required for 30 different employees to compute and record the number of hours worked during a week are given. So this is what the data is given, and this data is for how many different employees? 30 different employees. So here the value of small n is how much now? That is 30. Fine. Now use chi-square test to test the hypothesis that these service times are exponentially distributed at what percent? 5% level of significance. By 5% level of significance is nothing but for the chi-square test, it will be value of what? 0.05. To identify what? The critical value, the level of significance. Let the intervals be k equals to 6. Fine. It is nothing but the value of k equals to 6. It's already given. It is nothing but how many class intervals will be there now? There will be 6 class intervals. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fine. So we are going to group this 30 values or 30 samples into how many class intervals now? 6 class intervals, and the critical value is how much? 9.49. So they have already given the critical value of the chi-square, that is okay, x square of 0.05, fine, comma some value of degree of freedom, which is equal to how much now? Which is equal to 9.49. So we need to find this degree of value. Now solution, okay, we'll just see. Let x be a random variable, okay, representing the service time. So we should have two hypotheses: h0, which follows exponential distribution, h1, which does not follow exponential distribution. Now when I consider here, this is ungrouped data and which is continuous. For whenever we have an ungrouped data, okay, the mean is calculated only by using what? Summation of xi divided by n. Fine. Where this xi is nothing but what now? Yes, this plus this plus this plus this plus this plus this, fine, is what? The summation of xi divided by what now? That is 30. Fine. So that is how this is calculated, the summation of xi. So when you add all these values, you will get the answer as what? 39.3 divided by how many employees are there? 30. So divided by 30, which is equal to 1.31. Fine. Now since it is an exponential distribution, as I told, we have a lambda. Okay, the estimator, the parameter estimator for this is how much now? 1 divided by x bar. So 1 divided by 1.31, what is the value I'm getting? 0.7634. Fine. So this is the value of which one now? Lambda. Now using this value, we need to calculate what? Endpoints. Fine. Now in the question it is given that the intervals is how many intervals? 6. So P is calculated always. P is assigned with the value. What is the value now? It is equal to 1 divided by K. Okay, which is nothing but K value is 6. So 1 divided by 6 equals to 0.1667. Okay, now the expected frequency EI is calculated by using the formula. What is the formula? N into PI. N is the number of data, the total number of samples, which is 30, into PI is 1 divided by K, that is 1 divided by 6. What is the value we are getting now? The expected frequencies, that is 5. So EI is what? That is 5. Now compute the endpoints of the class interval. How to compute the endpoints? Using this formula. So we have lambda value. Okay, then we know what is p value. I value varies from 0. Then once again, okay, 1. So by using this formula, we can compute what? Once again, the class interval or the endpoints. So ai equals to minus 1 by lambda log of 1 minus I into p. Fine. So how many class intervals we need to calculate now? It is 6. Fine. So we are calculating. Okay, so not for 6, sorry, it is given expected frequency. Okay, how many number of times we need to calculate now? 5. So it is nothing but A1 to A5. Now using this, fine, so AI equals to minus 1 divided by 5. A1 equals to minus 1 divided by what is the lambda value now? It is 0.7634. So 0.7634 log of 1 minus 1 into 1 divided by 6, which is equal to 0.2388. In a similar way, calculate for A2, that is I equals to, from I equals to 0 to, sorry, I equals to 1 to 5. So when A equals to 1, A is equal to 2, A equals to 3, A equals to 4, A equals to 5. Calculate it, because we have got the value EI equals to N into PI. Now using this, let's construct a table here. You consider the class intervals. So we have the endpoints here. Fine. Using these endpoints, we need to identify this. Based on this value, observed frequency we have to consider. Expected frequency 5, it is already calculated. What is the expected frequency? It is 5. And finally calculate OI minus EI of whole square divided by EI. Now, what is the first endpoint now? 0.2388. So we start from 0, 0.2388. It is nothing but exclude 0, include 0.2388. Fine. Now from the given set of data, fine, identify all the samples within their range. What is the range now? 0 to, okay, 0. What is the value now? 0.2388. So 0.2388. So 0.23. So here you can just check here 0. So this is not 2, this is 8. So just leave it. So 0.23. So this is 1. So 1. Then once again 0.23. No, this is 2. Okay, this can be the third one. 3. 0.23. This is 4. Then this is 7. No, this is 4. This is 5. This is 6. 0.23, and this is 1, 7. So it is totally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So what is the observed frequency here? The value is, that is 7. What is the expected frequency? We have calculated here, it is 5. So consider 5. In the similar way, next start with 0.2388. What is the second endpoint? 0.5311. So consider this. Exclude this, include up to here. So if you just count it, once again you will get the value as 5. Then once again from this range to the third endpoint, 0.9080. So consider this, check it, you will get 4, then 5. Then once again start from 0.9080 up to 1.4391. Then once again 2.3471 to infinity. So totally, this one. So totally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fine. We're calculating for which one? 5 expected frequency. And the last one is what? From 2.3471 to infinity, above this. So you consider that also. Totally how many number of class intervals we are going to get here? That is 6. Fine. But here the range, the endpoints we are getting is what? How much? 5. Because endpoint is, or the end frequency, what is the value we are getting here? Expected frequency 5. So calculate from A1, A2, A3, A4 up to A5. From here to infinity, we'll consider one more. Fine. After that, what you will do, we'll calculate a summation of OI of EI. Use these values and calculate OI minus E square divided by EI. You will get these values. And once again, okay, the sum of all these elements is what? 7.6. So this is what is your chi-square test value. This is what your chi-square value. Now this value is compared with what? The critical value. Now the degree of freedom is calculated by using the formula K minus S minus 1. So K value is how much? 6. S value is 1 because exponential distribution has only one parameter. What is that parameter? That is lambda minus 1, which is equal to 4. Now chi-square of the critical value is calculated for 0.05, 4. How this is given in the table, 4. Just use the table. Okay, 0.05 for which one? 4 you will get as 9.49. So what is the critical value? 9.49. What is the chi-square test value? It is 7.6. This value is smaller when compared to this critical value, hence H0 is accepted. That is, the data is exponentially distributed. If this value was greater than this value, then the data is not exponentially distributed. Fine. So this is how actually we'll perform chi-square test for the input model with what type of distribution for the exponential distribution, and once again what type of data, that is continuous data. Once again, this is unequal.